those faces are hideous. What monster created this? Oh yeah, AI. Okay. Hi, I'm the colorblind architect. It's been a few years since I switched away from Adobe's Creative Cloud suite of apps and switched over to the Affinity apps. I use Affinity Photo and Affinity Publisher predominantly for my photo editing and page layout needs. A lot of the reason why I did that was because Adobe's Creative Cloud is crazy expensive. At over $50 a month, and that's on an annualized plan. It just feels like I don't use it enough to justify paying that much money out of pocket. However, here we are with Adobe's new Photoshop beta that has Adobe Firefly integrated with Generative Fill. And this was just too fascinating for me to not take out a 7-day trial and see what it was like. Here's the video. That's pretty amazing. I mean, seriously? And what even is that? I mean, like, that's just amazing. Like I said, that was so incredible when I found out about this feature that I just had to download the beta copy of Photoshop. And like I said, in order to do that, you actually have to have a Creative Cloud membership. I did not at the time, or at least not a paying one. So I went ahead and signed up for a free 7-day trial just to try it out. I'm still on the fence as to whether I'm actually going to proceed with keeping the Creative Cloud subscription. But with that said, I thought I would show what can architects do with it? What can we do with this new Generative Fill tool? So let's go. Let's open up Adobe Okay. Now let's open up Adobe Photoshop Beta. Now, again, this is the beta version. So if you've got Creative Cloud, you can't just use the regular Photoshop. You're going to actually have to go into your Creative Cloud app, and you're going to need to look for the beta apps and then install this separate. It is a separate app. Now, the good news is Adobe's apps do work natively on Apple Silicon, so this should work pretty fast. Now, what you're looking at on the screen is actually a rendering from Inkscape. I've generated this from a giant site model with it's a few hundred townhomes and mixed-use apartment buildings that are all part of this large development that I've been working on with a client. Now, the thing that you'll notice is that this is kind of a barren rendering, and the whole point of this rendering was to just get it out to give an image to the city, because I didn't really want to spend a ton of time adding a bunch of entourage, because honestly that takes a lot of extra time. And also I found, especially if you're adding people to a rendering, usually it's a very bad idea to put the people from either ArchiCAD or from Inkscape or from any of the rendering apps that are built in. Usually they look just so devoid of life. They look so gross. So I thought, hey, with this new Firefly Generative Fill feature, let's try it out, see how it works. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this lasso tool. And honestly, in the swimming pool, I think we need a couple children playing. So let's start by just creating that. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're lassoing kind of the area that you're focused on. You don't want to just, select a huge area. You want to do just the little area that you're working on. And so we're going to click on Generative Fill, and we're going to say, let's say 10-year-old child swimming. And we're going to go ahead, hit generate. And this is really like magic, the way this works, because it comes in and then it generates this child out of whole cloth. I mean, like, there wasn't a child here before. Now, this is obviously a bit big. I feel like this is not a very good scale. So I don't think I'm going to keep this one, or maybe I'm going to move it later. Maybe we can grab the tool here, move it over, and then generate. I'm not sure if that actually works. I'm very novice to this. I just started playing around with this yesterday. Okay, so it regenerated and there's a new image. Now you'll notice that there's actually multiple options here for each one. I think for this one, because of where this child is, I think I'm going to go with this child because it looks more appropriate to the scale. Now let's go back to our background layer. We're going to grab our lasso tool. I want to add somebody standing on their balcony here. So I'm going to just kind of draw that lasso in, Generative Fill, man standing on balcony with hands on railing. Let's see how that does. Now again, you want a lasso at about the size that you want the Generative Fill to actually fill up. Okay, that looks okay. Guy crossing his arms. This guy looking like he forgot his football and he's getting ready to throw it. I personally like the first one. It's a little bit more of what I was looking for. Guy standing there, hands on rail. Okay, let's try the next one. Let's put lady in sun hat sitting. Now, the interesting thing about this Generative Fill is it actually is using the context of the image, and then the AI is actually, thinking about, okay, well, how should this actually look? And what's cool about this is this Generative Fill, it even has the shadow of this umbrella, onto her leg. I mean, it's a pretty cool feature. Now let's check to see what the other fills looked like. Of the three, I don't know, maybe that third one. I kind of like the third one the most. This one is also pretty good. I think let's stick with the first one. Okay, what else can we do? Do we want to, let's go back to our background and let's just say select subject. See, now if we actually had a person here, we could select a subject. In this case, that didn't actually work. Let's see what happens if we say remove background. That also did not work as I had expected. So let's do undo. Instead, what we're going to do is I'm going to try, I think there's actually like a magic wand feature, if I remember correctly. Object selection, magic wand. Okay, so what I want to do, oh, nope. Okay, so in this situation, when you're trying to do the magic wand, I'm used to it. I'm used to the Affinity photo version. And yeah, with this magic wand, I don't quite know how to do it. So I think what I'm going to do is deselect, and I'm just going to go back to the lasso and just kind of manually draw around. And what you try to do is you try to get as close as you can. Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's be playful and change the sky into a red sky with lava erupting. Let's see what it does. Now, once it finishes this up, we will see a new sky, and in this case, it did an absolutely terrible job. This is a blue sky. Ah, there we go. It tried. It tried. It looks horrible though. I was just playing around with that feature, but let's turn that layer off. Now, the other nice thing about this is non-destructive editing. All of these are actually generative layers that you can turn on and off, you can move, you can adjust, and even like when we did that kid earlier, if you notice, we were able to move the kid and get a new one. So let's do another kid swimming. All right, that's way too big. That's way too small. I don't like it. I'm gonna add another generation, get some more options, because those variations were not good. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, that's okay. I think that's probably the option I'm gonna go with. Okay, next. I don't like this door. I should have done it right in the ArchiCAD model before I rendered, but I'm gonna go ahead and select this with our lasso. And I would prefer to see a wood door here. Okay, that's option 1, option 2, option 3. It's definitely not the best, but in a pinch, if you're really in a hurry and you've already done all the renderings and you just needed to change that, this would pass for a quick concept render. It's obviously fake, but sometimes if you're in a big rush. Let's do a little flock of seagulls flying. I should mention that this particular project is right by a large lake, and the lake does have seagulls, so this would be an appropriate thing to see up in the sky in this particular community. Okay, that first one looks good. Second one, not as good. Third one, definitely not as good. I'm gonna stick with the first. Okay, I think we also need somebody walking here, because I feel like this foreground's a bit bland. So let's say couple holding hands walking. Okay. And of course I shook my desk, so if you saw the camera shaking. Here we go. See how it does with the couple walking. Oh, okay. That's not bad. Okay. I think I kind of like this better. because let's take a look. Those faces are hideous. What monster created this? Oh yeah, AI. Okay, here we go. Oh, more with the just hideous faces. Now, Adobe, I hope you fix this, because this is terrifying. So if we go to the third one, okay, this is not as bad. Okay, we've got a little bit of goofiness here, but at least it looks like his hand is wrapped around her stomach, which that looks a little bit more realistic. Her hands are a little bit mangled. You get in close, that's where you really start to be like, ugh. But this, of those three, is by far the best looking. So we're just gonna stick with that couple. Okay, so let's see, what else would we want to maybe add? I don't know, let's maybe let's add a potted plant. So as you can see, this is a pretty cool tool. So far I'm just adding stuff, which is fine. Okay, that looks like a succulent. Probably gonna go with the evergreen. I think that works good. Okay. Now, what if we had something in the shot that we just don't like? Let's say maybe, let's say we just don't like this barbecue grill on the counter, and we maybe just want to remove it. Let's hit Generative Fill, and instead of putting in a prompt, we just hit enter. And this is one of the cool features, is that you can remove an element from an image. Now, as you can see, it wasn't perfect, but you know, it's tolerable. Okay, and so you can remove stuff. That's great. Now, what about another one of the features that they showed in the video? What if we just add some canvas space? All right, and then with this, we're going to want to create a little bit of a zone that overlaps just a little bit. Hit Generative Fill. And now what it's going to do is it's going to extrapolate what isn't actually in the image, but what it thinks would be in the image. Okay, and now let's check through the options. I think that's probably the best one. And then let's do that again with this, Generative Fill, generate. Okay, and we're gonna finish out this image. Now, you think about how fast that was. I mean, like, you didn't have to go back into the software and re-render. I mean, we literally have the ability to create a new portion of the image, and it even extended the design of the building. Now, it wasn't perfect. Okay, there's a lot of flaws with this, but it's kind of cool, you know? And this is just a beta, so I mean, technically under the terms of services, you're not allowed to use this for commercial purpose, but I can see where this is going to be a very valuable tool in our tool set. Again, it's not perfect. It's far from perfect, but just think about where predictive text was a few years ago. I mean, and today with ChatGPT, where predictive text, you can literally ask it to write you code or to write contracts and stuff, and it's like, and it does a decent job with it. So quite amazing. Anyways, hopefully this has been a helpful little illustration of the new Photoshop beta with Generative Fill. I'm the Colorblind Architect. Peace out.